Hello and welcome back to Vox Terra. Last show, I talked about what the media is underreporting regarding the Iran-Iraq-US conflict in terms of the fact that the media is dominated by fossil fuel, petrochemical, and also military-industrial complex business interests. So today, I want to look at the last Democratic debate and some of the underreported points that we're missing from that debate regarding trade and its impact on the environment. Those points were brought up by Senator Bernie Sanders. The reporters asked him, why are you the main one opposing NAFTA 2.0, or what's called the United States-Canada-Mexico Agreement, USMCA? Tom Steyer also mentioned his opposition. So Bernie gave us some fantastic talking points. And by us, I mean us Vox Terrans or us environmentalists, us people who want to make the long-term survival of the human species and civilization, the political priority, instead of so much fist-pounding about some of these hot-button social issues. So Bernie gave us at least 3 great talking points, and I'm going to give you 2 citations today as well that you can go look at yourself, and I'll post them below the video. So, talking point 1. Bernie said that he's against the agreement because he described it as a race to the bottom. Well, that's a great phrase, a great talking point that the media is not going to focus on much. A race to the bottom. I've heard that for years now in these kind of environmental activist circles. Race to the bottom, what does that mean? Race to the bottom means you're pitting country A against country B against country C to try to get those multinational dollars. And calling it a race to the bottom means that the way you're going to track that money to your country or your state, because this can also be competing state versus state if you're in America, United States. The way you're going to track that money is saying, hey, we're going to offer you the weakest labor protections, the weakest safety standards at those factories, for example, the weakest environmental regulations. Just go ahead and dump it. Nobody's looking, right? And that will attract that money there, race to the bottom. So Sanders brought up that term, race to the bottom. A good one, thank you. Point 2, he said he opposes it because, in his words, all the major environmental organizations and the machinists union oppose it. Now, that's terrific for us because he's giving credit to the environmental organizations, which I think are key to the long-term survival of our species, is getting them at that table, front and center, which the media underreports environmental issues because all the money, okay? So he's putting environmental groups front and center in his platform. One of the first and only Democrats I've heard do that over the course of my lifetime. Republicans go without saying they're not doing that. Okay, it goes without saying they're not doing that. So, but another great point by bringing up that environmental groups, a big gift he's giving us by pointing out that environmental groups are opposing this big trade deal, is it debunks one of the big lies or disinformation out there about environmentalists, about people like me who are concerned about climate change, and maybe people like you too, I hope, that we're part of some big nefarious conspiracy. Look, you know, if you're involved in this, we're just volunteering. And our goal is to cut back the burning of fossil fuels. It always has been, even before climate change was the big elephant in the room here threatening our species. We just want to cut back on pollution. So we're going to oppose a big global trade deal if it looks like it's going to make more pollution. We might support an international treaty like the Paris Climate Treaty, which Trump said no way to, because we think it's going to lower the amount of fossil fuels being pumped into our atmosphere and our oceans. Many of us also probably supported what was called the Kyoto Climate Accord, which Bush Jr. set aside. But then we're also going to oppose these big trade deals. We oppose we as in Sierra Club, speaking for them, they opposed the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and they also opposed NAFTA 1. So that's a great point Bernie brought up by just mentioning environmental groups oppose this trade deal. Point three, Bernie said climate change is the biggest threat faced by humanity, something of that nature. So Bernie, without being asked, brought up climate change, and then he got scolded by the host or the reporter for doing that. But if you remember, Bernie has brought up climate change every debate I watched him in during 2016 when not a single reporter asked him. And that's something really different, because as being someone who really is concerned about how we are poisoning ourselves to earn a living, how we are pumping this earth full of greenhouse gases and carcinogens because of all these disposable products, I've generally voted Democrat because I know, being involved in these groups, they're responsive to us, but they're not really campaigning on our issues as an environmentalist here. Bernie brings them up, and he has done so. So again, he brought up climate change is the biggest threat we face. And I went and took a look for you to see, well, are all the environmental groups, or which ones exactly are opposing this NAFTA 2.0 or this USMCA? And I found an open letter to Congress saying, please vote against it, from Earthjustice, Food and Water Action. What a great name. Doesn't that just say it all? Food and Water Action. Friends of the Earth. Greenpeace. I mostly know them from my childhood as opposing whaling. League of Conservation Voters. Terrific group. I really suggest you check them out. They are very good at rating candidates, people in Congress, and on their voting records. Natural Resource Defense Council. They've been around forever. Oil Change International, 350.org, Sunrise Movement, and another old standby, Sierra Club. I'm also going to post a link beneath the video to a news outlet called Common Dreams. What a great name, Common Dreams. They're a little newer to me, though. And they quote that Senator Sanders, they thank him. Their article is, climate groups thank Sanders for being only candidate at debate to stand against Trump-led trade deal. Now, again, do you hear Trump talking about, the extra pollution from these trade deals? They quote that 3 of his Democratic colleagues on the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, Senator Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat, Ed Markey, Democrat, and Sheldon Whitehouse, Democrat, voted against the USMCA. All Democrats, and only a few of them. The lawmakers cited concerns over special protection for fossil fuel company profits, food and safety rollbacks, and allowances for chemical companies to keep data about toxic pesticides secret. So, trade deals, think about the race to the bottom when you analyze them. Do we really need to ship all these products across the ocean? We can make them more easily here at home. So please comment your thoughts on the Democratic debate. Please comment your thoughts on this video and what's working for you, what isn't working for you. Please, sincere constructive criticism is always welcome. And subscribe, click the notification. And until next time, and until next time, peace be with you.